Hi, so I'm going to take you through a short beginner's focused yoga flow. Really good for the morning, nice and slow. We're going to work on building up towards doing sun salutations. So get yourself comfortable, get something comfortable on, have a glass of water, make sure that your environment's comfortable, air it out, put a nice incense stick on. Get yourself ready just to be on your mat for the next 20 minutes. When you've done that, we're going to come to a comfortable seated position. Just a comfortable seated position. So maybe the legs are crossed like this. Maybe that's a little bit too much for the hips. Maybe you just want to extend your legs out in front of you. So sitting comfortably in what we call Sukhasana. That's the easy position or comfortable seated position. Let's place the hands, palms down onto the knees, roll the shoulders back and close the eyes. So straight away, let's just be aware of the breath. The lips can be softly touching. We're going to try to use the nose to inhale and exhale. If that's too much, exhale out of the mouth. So we're going to inhale in through the nose. We can hear it coming in. Exhale maybe back out of the nose. There's no rush to get the breath in or out of the body. Just allowing it to slowly come in through the nostrils and leave again through the nostrils or through the mouth. The spine is long, reaching up towards the ceiling. There's space between the shoulder blades. Maybe we can just gently encourage them open. The hands are resting on the knees. This helps the shoulders rest down. We don't want to hold on to any tension here. We're trying to relax and soften the body. We're trying to bring the body to a state of calm in advance of our practice. Inhaling in through the nose and exhaling. We're just taking a few moments before we start in this position just to be aware of the body. Maybe we can check in with how we're feeling. Most of all, let's just find an awareness of the breath, a connection with the breath. The breath which could be called the bridge between the mind and the body. Connection with the bridge between the mind and the body. Feeling the breath, observing the breath as it comes in through the nose and out. Can we be aware of what happens when we breathe in through the nose and maybe the rib cage expands from side to side? Maybe sometimes when we inhale, we feel the expansion lower down, nearer the abdomen, the lower half of the ribs, the diaphragmic region. Inhaling and exhaling. Let's just do one more. Let's flicker the eyes open now and gaze low if it's bright in the room. Okay, let's bring the soles of the feet together. So the soles of the feet together, sometimes this is called butterfly or Baddha, which means cobbler pose in Sanskrit. I'll not use that too much today. We're going to bring the palm of the hand nice and wide, and we're going to place it in line with the hip. So directly in line with the hip, maybe a foot or so away. The soles of the feet are together. We don't want them too close because that's going to be uncomfortable. We don't want them too far away. So just a nice comfortable position for yourself. Placing the hand firmly onto the floor. wrapping the right shoulder down away from the ear, and then allowing the neck, the head to drop down towards that shoulder. So straight away we feel this release coming into the left side of the neck. Let's release the jaw. Release the jaw. Let it flop. We don't often allow tension to drop out of the jaw, so can we do that here? And what's happened to our breath? Are we still aware of the breath? So I'm going to be talking a little bit more. So I'm not going to be breathing as much as you will be. Can we let the ear really drop down towards this shoulder? And just have a quick check of your shoulder. It's not going to be up here. It's moving down away from the ear. Maybe the ear can follow it down a bit. And this left hand is just resting on the knee. My right elbow, there's a little bend into it, just a little bend to engage the muscles. So we're really pulling that right shoulder blade down the back, not arching forward. I'm opening, I'm staying in a neat line, so I'm side bending here. No forward fold, a little side bend. So at the minute, we're just letting the neck go. We're going to inhale and reach the left hand up and over the head, keeping the neck soft down towards that right shoulder. And now we're going to reach through these fingertips as we inhale. We're creating a whole load of space in that left side of the body. We're stretching that space between the ribs. Also releasing any tension that might be kind of niggling around that left hip. So we're inhaling, we're reaching up and over. Keep this right ear dropping towards the right shoulder. And notice that often close my eyes when I'm really thinking about going into a position. So I close my eyes, it sends my focus inwards. It means I can really breathe into the spaces that need breathing into. And feel into each position. Keep the head where it is. Maybe flicker the eyes open if you've closed them so you can see what we're doing. And the head stays where it is. We're going to reach this left hand back up and over. Head stays where it is. And we're going to hover the left hand about a foot off the floor. It deepens, really deepens the stretch because of the weight of the arm and the weight of the head. Nice little counterbalance for that muscle. The sternocleidomastoid, probably saying that wrong. Helps the rotation of the head. Sometimes it's nice to tilt the head forward a bit, gets into the back of the neck. Notice with each exhale, maybe there's a slight intensity in the stretch that we're getting out of this. Now we've been here a little while, so we're going to help the head up. We're going to bring this right hand that's on the floor underneath the right ear, and we're going to place the left hand back onto the left knee. We're going to really gently just pull it up. Nice. Bit of a difference in this side of the neck. Now let's repeat. So we're going to do it on the other side. Bring the left hand nice and wide, span the fingers, spreads the surface weight, and just creates a bit more connection with the muscles around the arm. We're going to bend into that left elbow. We're going to wrap the left shoulder down the body away from the ear. Just start to allow the left ear to drop towards the left shoulder. You might notice one side slightly tenser. Might just be nice to stay here if it was a bit too intense. Notice with each exhale the body will soften into the position. You might not be used to this Baddha Konasana position, so if you want, you can always just take the pressure off and straighten the legs. We're not necessarily working into the hips here. I'm going to stay where I was. So the left ear is dropping towards the left shoulder. Shoulders are down away from the ears. There's a little bend in my left arm. I'm even using the fingertips to support the weight of the body, side bending towards my left hand. So with an inhale, we're going to stretch into the flank of the body. We're going to inhale, reach the right hand up and over the head, keeping that left ear dropping towards that left shoulder. And with your next inhale, we can extend that. Really feel that stretch coming down the right side of the body. My sit bones are firmly rooted. Even my head crept up a little bit there, didn't it? Let's see if we can keep the softness in the neck. We're so used to holding the head up all day. There's this tendency to slowly lift it up again. See if you can let go here. Remember, we can release the jaw. Inhaling and exhaling. We'll go for 2 breaths here together. Inhaling for 4. Exhaling for 4. 3, 2, and 1. One more. Can't remember if I said 3 or 4. Let's stick with 3. This is 3. Exhaling. So again, we want to support the head as it rises. So we're going to, we didn't do a neck release. Let's do a neck release. Reach the right hand up and over the head. Keep the head where it is. Keep the head where it is. Keep the head where it is. So the left ear is dropping towards the left shoulder. We're going to reach the right hand away from us. We're hovering it just above the floor. And this is increasing the intensity that's coming into that muscle. We even get into the shoulder here. It's a really great way of releasing tension in the upper body. Still a little bend in my left arm. I'm still supporting the body weight. Maybe I can tilt the chin forward if it feels nice. Just be gentle. Closing the eyes at any opportunity. Okay, so now we are going to come up, but we want to support the head first. So we're going to place the left hand under the left ear, right hand back on right knee, and gently push the head back up. So the head sits over the hips and the spine is nice and long. Take a deep inhale here. And exhale. Okay, coming on to all fours. Nice opportunity to get a drink if you want one. All fours. Notice when I'm in all fours, my shoulders are over my wrists and my hips are over my knees. My toes here can be tucked or untucked, whatever feels good for you. I've got a little niggle in my knee, so I sometimes like to untuck them because it doesn't pour the weight onto the kneecap. Spread the fingers wide, engage into the shoulders, so feel a little bit of a push into the ground. We're going to inhale, and as we inhale, we for 4, 3, 2, 1, look up towards the ceiling. So we're going to inhale. And as I inhale, notice that my belly button drops down. So I'm tucking my tailbone. There's a tuck of my tailbone upwards. So I'm arching my back. This is called cow. I'm even stretching my throat as I gaze up towards the ceiling. Then as I exhale, I switch it. I come into a cat position. Arching my back, tucking my tailbone down, opening up the space between the shoulder blades. I even move my chin towards my chest to really curve my spine fully. Notice the end tuck of my tailbone now. This is when we're exhaling. Then we inhale, we reverse it. So we're inhaling. If you close your eyes and just imagine the spine. So what we're doing here is we're warming up the spine. Opening my spine one way to its capacity as I inhale. And then as I exhale, the curl actually comes from the core. So I turn my core on and I use my core, my kind of mid-abdomen, to push into the center of the spine. And as it pushes into the center of the spine, the rest of the spine naturally curves around with it, tapping the chin to the chest. So we'll do a couple together. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, and 1. End up at the very top, looking up at the ceiling. And exhale for 4, 3, 2, and 1. And again, inhale. Let's go for 5, 4, inhaling, 3, 2, and 1, and exhaling for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bending a neutral spine. Bring the hands a little bit further forward and a little bit further away. Tuck the toes. We're coming into down facing dog. Really engage the shoulders. Lift the knees and look towards the back of the mat. We're going to see if we can straighten the legs nice and slow. And as we do, we push into the hands so that the shoulders move away from the wrists and the hips move towards the back of the mat. We can readjust the hands as is comfortable. We can bring the feet about hip distance apart, and we can release the neck. We don't want to hold onto the neck. So what we don't want to be doing here is we don't want to have the shoulders over the wrists. Another thing we don't want to be doing is bending too far down, because it's a different position. It's a really deep dog. It's quite advanced. The knees may be bent, but we're working towards having the heels towards the floor. The shoulders don't want to be coming in by the ears. They want to wrap around the body without bending the elbows too much. And then with the shoulders moving away from each other, we can truly release the head. And notice what happens when I'm sunk here. I push and I find length. So I'll do that again. I push and I find length. Let's slowly walk either hands towards feet or feet towards hands. And we'll just find a nice gentle forward fold. Gentle because I've taken a little bend into my knees. Drop the head down towards the feet. Feel the feet fully rooted on the floor. And let's see if we can inhale all the way up. We're coming to standing. Inhale, reach the hands forward and up. Root the feet, root the feet, root the feet. I'm going to tuck my tailbone as I do. Inhaling, reach the hands up. Exhale. And Jali Mudra, the hands meet at the heart. Okay, let's bring in a little flow to our practice. Standing at the front of the mat, Tadasana, mountain pose. My hips are stacked over my ankles, my shoulders are stacked over my hips. I'm not arching, I'm tucking my tailbone, so I'm bringing everything into a bit of a center point. Shoulders are rolled back. Let's have an external rotation of the shoulders. So we don't want them caving in. We want to open them up. Gaze is forward. Maybe just close the eyes. We'll find an awareness of the breath again. Can you feel the ribs expand from side to side? Can you hear your breath? Sounds like a bit of a wave. It comes in through the nose and hits the epiglottis, a little valve at the back of the throat, just above the voice box. Ujjayi breathing, we call that. Okay, let's flicker the eyes open. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, meet the hands at the heart. Inhale, reach the hands up. We're going to forward fold. Take a bend into the knees for a softer forward fold. Straighten into the legs for a slightly more opening forward fold on the hamstrings. Exhale. Take a forward fold. Release the head. Release the neck. We can hold on to the elbows. We call this ragdoll. Ragdoll just allows a little bit more traction to come into the spine. The head again wants to soften. We're not looking at the floor. We're not trying to hold on to these neck muscles. We're softening. We're just letting the head go, letting the neck go. Knees can be bent or legs can be straight. Depends how deep you want to go today. Again, let's get used to being in a position and not moving too much once we found it. And just bringing an awareness to the breath and inhale in through the nose, maybe for 4, 3, 2, 1. And an exhale out of the nose for 4,
3, 2, and 1. You might get a little shake in the legs here. Let's release the elbows, bring the hands to the floor. Might help to bend into the knees. We're going to step back to a tabletop. So we take the right foot back, place the knee and the foot on the floor, place it down, left foot back, knee and the foot comes onto the floor. So we're back in this tabletop position. We don't want to be in tabletop though, we want to be in plank. So step the feet back, and back again, we're in a plank position. Nice strong plank. Shoulders are over the wrist. We're rounding into that bit between the shoulders. The hips don't want to be too high because this doesn't look like a plank. They want to be thereabouts, parallel with the floor. A natural slide down from the shoulders to the ankles. We're going to come down through 8-point pose, Ashtanga Namaskara. At the minute, we've got 4 limbs on the floor. 2 knees are 5 and 6. And then we want to get the chest onto the floor and the chin onto the floor. To do that, we have to tilt the tailbone up. Elbows are naturally going to swing out. Let's see if we can encourage them in towards the ribs. Chest comes first, and then chin. We've got 8 parts of the body on the floor. Don't worry if your whole body just came down to the floor, because that's where we're going to get to next. Slide the legs back and tuck the toes. Slide the hands forward. As we're sliding the hands forward, we push into the hands and give ourselves a little lift. Squeeze the elbows again towards one another. Inhale, telescope the rib cage up to the sides. Ceiling, not sides. Telescope your rib cage up to the ceiling. And notice as we did that, maybe the shoulders came up. Slide the shoulders down the back. Bhujangasana. Cobra, it's a low cobra. Where's my microphone gone? It's a low cobra because the elbows are only slightly lifted. We don't want to go too deep into a back bend. My legs are grounded towards the floor. My hips are pushing down towards the floor. It's a heart opener. Really feel like you're opening the heart forward. Maybe we can visualize the breath coming into the upper chest here. Feeling that space around the clavicle, lifting as we inhale. We're going to use an exhale to come back down. So exhaling, coming all the way back down. Let's position ourselves so it's easy to come up. Hands under shoulders, tuck the toes. We can push so we find a tabletop again, and then back to down facing dog. Down facing dog, pushing into the hands, sending the tailbone back, and just adjusting the feet, wrapping shoulders around the body. Let's not forget to release the neck. Walking feet towards hands or hands towards feet. We're back in a forward fold. Release the head, release the neck. Ragdoll if you choose. Release the hands from ragdoll. Root the feet down. Keep the hips square. We want to come up evenly. Root the feet down evenly. Reach the hands forward. We're using an inhale to rise. Inhaling, rising to standing. Tucking the tailbone as we do. Inhale, inhale, inhale. Exhale. Meet the hands at the heart. Release the hands down by the side of the body. Let's bring a little bit more movement into our bodies, into our flow, into our practice today. Inhale. Exhale, meet the hands at the heart. Inhale, reach the hands up. Exhale, take a forward fold. Release the head, release the neck. Hands to the floor. This time one foot steps back. We're coming into a lunge, Anjaneyasana, a lunge. Set the right foot back. Tuck the toes, meet the knee at the floor, and then push into the knee and the front foot so that the hands reach up. A lunge. This neck just keeps getting tangled. So maybe we're going to be a stacked lunge. Notice my knee is over my ankle, or maybe we can just adjust it slightly and sink down a little bit. What feels comfortable for you? I'm going to find a place in between. My toes are tucked, just so I've got a little bit more buoyancy, a little bit more control in this
in the position. You can try untucking your toes and see how that feels. You might notice that it's not as steady when we untuck the toes. When we tuck the toes, we've got this engagement that comes into our calf and that travels up the whole body. Let's inhale, reach the hands up. Are we still creating that engagement towards the floor? Can we breathe and find an awareness of the breath here? Might be too much to have the hands up. You could gaze forward. You could bring your hands onto your hips. Meet the hands back at the floor. We're going to frame the front foot with the hands. We're going to push so much into the floor that we create a bit of space. So we're going to step back to plank. Push into the floor, lift the back knee. Step left foot back to a plank. We'll inhale here. And exhale. Knees, chest, chin coming down. Next breath is an inhale, low cobra. Shuffle the hands forward, legs back. Inhale, Bhujangasana, low cobra. Exhale all the way through to the end of down dog. Place the hands under the shoulders. Keep exhaling. Exhaling. Lift up onto the knees first, then push into the hands down, facing dog. Release the head. Release the neck. Wrap the shoulders. Maybe take a couple of breaths here. Grounded. Feeling the four limbs firmly rooted into the floor. Where's the breath coming into you now? I can feel it in my back, ribs, the expansion there. Let's take an inhale here. We're going to use an exhale to step our right foot forward. So we're going to inhale. And as we exhale, we empty the body of breath, creating a little bit more space. We see if we can step the right foot through, and naturally the shoulders are going to come over the wrist as we do, so we need to create a bit more strength here. Maybe we place the foot on the floor and help it through. Maybe we can carry it all the way through and drop that back knee. So on an exhale, we're stepping through to a lunge, low lunge, right foot forward. Inhale, bring the hands up. And exhale, hands through the heart. Frame the front foot. We're taking a forward fold. We're bringing that left foot forward. I'm going to take a forward fold over the legs, the front of the mat. Exhaling, forward fold. Root the feet down. Use your next inhale to rise to standing. And exhale, meet the hands back at the heart. Hands stand by the side of the body. We're moving on to the left side. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, meet the hands at the heart. Inhale, reach the hands up. Exhale, take a forward fold. Release the head, release the neck. Left foot steps back, low lunge, knee down, toes tucked. Push into the right foot so you get that lift, hands reach up. Maybe the gaze was up, maybe the gaze was forward, maybe your hands were on your hips. Hands come through the heart to the floor. Push the ground away, step back to plank position. Exhale, we're coming down. 8-point pose. So we've got 2 feet, 2 hands. Let's add the 2 knees. Exhaling, exhaling. Elbows squeeze in towards one another, chest and then chin. Next is an inhale. Hands forward, legs back. Telescope the ribs up. Shoulders down away from the ears. Root the legs. I like to kind of think about the back and the front as separate entities almost. You shuffle the shoulders down behind you and the back roots down as the heart and the chest opens forward. Let's use an exhale to come down. So inhale here. And exhale, bring the body back to the floor. We can even tap the forehead on the floor. Hands under shoulders, set ourselves up. Tuck toes. Push, maybe through tabletop or maybe straight down facing dog. Wrap shoulders around the body. Release the head. Release the neck. Grounded, 4 limbs are on the floor.
making that connection of the fingertips, the underside of the knuckles, finding that length as the tailbone reaches a little higher. We get that nice stretch down the backs of the legs. Knees can be bent. Do what feels right for your body. A couple of feeling breaths. We're going to use an exhale. So inhale here. And exhale, left foot steps forward. Left foot, maybe you can help it through. Left foot steps forward. Drop the back knee. Root left foot and right knee. And right foot is tucked as we inhale, reach up. Maybe gazes up. Maybe gazes forward. Next, exhale, hands through heart, frame the front foot, and bring the whole body into a forward fold. Exhaling, forward fold, release the head, release the neck. Inhale, rise to standing. And exhale, bring the hands to the heart. Take a moment, hands down by the side of the body. Just release the shoulders. Be aware of the breath, checking in with how you're feeling. Attempt to take this necklace off while you guys are there. Just allowing the breath to come in and out of the body. Okay, let's flicker the eyes open. Nice, so we've done a little flow there. We've brought a little bit of movement into the body. Let's come to a seated position, back onto the floor. We're going to do one more position just to work into the spine, a little back bend a bit more. Setu Bandhasana, also known as bridge. Maybe you just want to watch me first and then go into it yourself. Come onto your back. Shuffle your feet nice and close in towards your body. Feel for the knees being over the ankles. So we don't want the legs like this. We don't want them wide. We want the feet and the hips and the knees all in a nice tidy space. Shuffle the shoulders down away from the ears. Find an awareness of the hips, reaching the feet down. Slowly curl the hips up, 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 up. Notice when you get to here, you might want to readjust yourself. You can take a little look at your feet. Readjust yourself again. Don't worry for lifting the hips too high. We just want a nice opening on the front line of the hips into the quads. We want to build up a bit of energy in the legs here. Again, maybe nice to close your eyes and find an awareness of the breath. Maybe you're instantly drawn to sensations in the lower back. Can you move your shoulders down away from your ears and pour a bit more weight into your feet to create a strength and energy in the legs? Quite like to interlace my hands underneath my back to support the position and help me get a little deeper. Inhaling deeply. Exhaling completely. We're still not rushing the breath in and out of the body. We're trying to find a steady rhythm, a steady pace of the inhale and exhale. Supports a security that we create with the brain. We're letting the body know. Letting the body know that we're finding a calm rhythm. Let's do 2 more breaths here, if you're still with me. So when we come down, we want to naturally unlink the hands. We keep that grounding connection with the feet, and we use an exhale. So we inhale, and as we exhale, we tuck the tailbone up so the upper spine meets the ground first. And the whole way down, we just slowly, softly bring each part of the spine mindfully back down onto the floor. There we go. It feels nice when we're there. And just release, let the knees knock in towards one another. Take a moment. Exhale out of the mouth. Just releases any additional tension. It's especially in the jaw and the upper body. Okay, let's do a supine twist to end this session. So we're going to extend the left leg. We're going to hug the right knee in towards the body. So notice here how active both of my feet are. I'm creating a lot more length by flexing the feet. And just gently squeezing my right knee in towards my body. I'm then going to extend my right hand on the floor in line with my right shoulder. I'm going to use my left hand to ease. I'm going to soften my toes at this point. I'm going to use my left hand to ease. Get rid of my microphone over here as well. Ease the left knee over the left side of the body. I'm twisting right the way across. Just go to a point that feels comfortable for you. Maybe you can close the eyes. Notice my legs have become soft here. Let's just talk about twists while we're here. What we're doing here is we're toning the spinal column and the nerves around the spine. We're creating a little bit of space around the vertebrae as such. We're supporting the synovial fluid that gets made. And we're also, mainly with twists, they're cleansing positions. So we're squeezing, we're almost wringing out all the internal organs. So it's a soft inhale, and as we inhale, we're just finding the spaces that we're sending that breath into. Notice it's harder to inhale as we're twisting, and as we exhale, we just soften. Sometimes we can get a little deeper. We'll use an inhale to come back to center. So gently inhale, bring the knee back into center. And exhale here. We'll switch sides. Extend the right leg. Bring your left knee in. Give your knee a little squeeze. And as we exhale, we're going to twist over to the right side this time. So extend your left hand in line with your left shoulder. And bring your right knee as you exhale over the right side. Send your gaze over to the left. Again, legs can be soft. And at this point of the practice, we're not pushing yourself into anything deep. You're just allowing yourself to rest where the body wants to rest. Inhaling in through the nose and exhaling back out of the nose maybe. Giving the internal organs a good cleanse. Opening up the back a little. We're going to use an inhale to come back to center. So inhale, bring that left knee back in towards center and give it a little hug. Extend both legs straight on the floor. Now we'll hug both knees in, and maybe just give the body a little rock from side to side. It feels really nice on the lower back. You could hold onto the knees and move in little circles. Might be nice here just to add a little happy baby or a dead bug pose in at the end. What we're going to do is the knees are together at the minute. We're going to allow them to be further apart from one another. The hips are going to open. We're then going to bring the knees towards the armpits.
So it might be that here you just want to hold on to the backs of your thighs. Maybe that's enough for you today. If you want to go a little deeper, you could aim to hold on to the outsides of the feet. And when you hold on to the outsides of the feet, you can let the knees come in towards the armpits a little bit. You can see why it's called happy baby or dead bug pose. So my knees are still bent. My head's on the floor. I'm just relaxing here. I'm just allowing my hips to be open. Shoulders are soft. Soles of the feet are facing up towards the ceiling. And then we're going to just gently release the feet one at a time, back towards the floor. Let's take a moment in Shavasana or corpse pose. Really important part of any practice. Adjust yourself so that you're lying on the floor. Even if you just give yourself a moment of rest after a yoga practice, it seals the practice on a mental, on an emotional, and on a physical level. So get yourself comfortable, and how we can get ourselves comfortable is by creating a length in the spine and openness in the chest. So it's nice to place your feet onto the floor, and same principle with half bridge. We tuck the tailbone and then we allow the spine to come back down at its fullest, at its longest. We can then bring the legs wide. We want the toes to rock open, and we want the feet to be a little bit wider than the hips. Another nice trick is to bring the shoulder blades kind of 15% under the back and have the palms up towards the ceiling. Sometimes when you do that, you need a little tuck of the tailbone again. And awareness again of the breath. Inhaling in through the nose. Exhaling out of the nose. Even if you're just here for a moment, allow your whole body to be held by the ground. Just let yourself be held, let it go. Just release any tension, release any muscles. There's nowhere else you need to be right now. This is what we've chosen to do. Let's allow ourselves to be fully present in this space, soft, relaxed. If you want to stay here for another minute or so, I'll take you through a short body scan. Bringing your awareness to the tips of the big toes. With awareness, we don't need to wiggle the toes. We can just draw our attention there. So when we come into a relaxation, if we can keep the body as still as possible, it's supporting the mind to find a space of stillness and calm. An awareness of the soles of the feet, soles of the feet, soles of the feet to the ankles. The body is still, the ground is supporting us. Our awareness can come into the calves. Maybe we just feel the calves as they are in our mind. Maybe we feel a tingle or the clothes on our skin. We can bring our mind's attention to anything we choose to around the calf area, to the knees and to the thighs. The thighs to the hips, to the abdominal area, the stomach,
the ribs, the rib cage. Feel the weight of the body in the floor still. The breath has become natural. Shoulders, heart, to the arms, elbows, forearms. No need to respond to anything we're aware of. We're just observing in the mind. The palms of the hands to the tips of the fingers, to the jaw. The eyes, eyeballs, forehead, the whole body. Let your jaw be soft. Let yourself rest for a moment or two now. There's no need to rush back to the room that we're in. We're just going to slowly bring an awareness back to a deeper breath. Maybe that breath we could hear like a wave. With that breath, we can feel life, movement, energy coming back into the body. We wriggle the toes, wriggle the fingers, maybe give the jaw a wobble. Carefully place the feet onto the floor, one at a time. Mindful of the back. Little rock of the head. Side to side is always nice. Maybe again a little squeeze of the knees, one at a time or both together. I'm going to roll over onto a side that feels right for you. It's nice to keep the eyes closed a little bit longer. And use the hands to push yourself back up. And then we're going to meet back in that Sukhasana, that comfortable seated position. Hands can rest on the knees. Might be nice to meet the hands at the heart. Anjali Mudra, bringing both sides of the brain to the heart space. Taking a couple of the deepest breaths, most filling breaths that you've taken today. Namaste. Thank you.